So many of us live with regrets. The truth is, we should be living in such a way that we have no regrets because we live a meaningful life. As you discover your God-given purpose, you are truly fulfilled and you're inspired to help others. My purpose in this show is to build your faith so you learn to find complete fulfillment and joy in this life as we prepare for the next. Legendary Faith is faith that continues throughout the generations. It starts with us and ends with Jesus. What is your destiny? Join me in this journey to discover how to build a legacy that never ends. Hang tight, legend. God has the very best in store for you. Welcome everyone to Legendary Faith, and welcome to today's episode 28, Legendary Health. So in today's worldly chaos, it can be difficult to dial in on our nutrition because we want to stress eat. We want to go eat that donut or the cake. And if you're like me, you like to make excuses. I deserve this. I'm feeling bad. But if we do not dial in and focus on self-discipline and balance in our lives and taking action steps to better our health, then these things are going to consume our bodies and make us more sick, or if we're not sick yet, folks, this will sneak up on you. I know that it did for me, and then I was so sorry. And let me tell you, it's been a long journey. You know, all of us get scrapes and bruises. But what about as we get older, it makes it harder and harder to heal from the damage that is done on our bodies. And maybe perhaps some things we can't help. And there's a purpose and meaning in that too. But there are many things that we can help, and we can start today. And I want to encourage you that if you are sick, if you're in pain, hey, I've been there on a long journey, and I'm here to tell you, don't give up. There is purpose in your pain. And no matter what you've been told or what you've been told by your doctors even, you know, if they tell you that there's no hope or they can't find a solution, then keep seeking for the answers because you deserve it. And there is an answer because God has a great plan for you and I. And He does want us healthy for the mission that He's prepared for us. So I want you to seek God about your health because it is important and we should not take this for granted. But also I want you to step up and take action. So legendary health is health that equips us to live our best life now. And we can learn to build this life so that we are our best version for our loved ones. If we don't have our health, we are not inspired each day because we feel like crap. It's hard to put a smile on your face when you're in pain. And it's even harder when you're unsure of when you'll be out of pain and you feel like there's no solution. But I'm here to tell you that there is a solution. Just keep searching. We want to build a legacy of health so that when we're gone, our loved ones will follow suit. When we take action plans today, then we inspire those around us. And there's so much negativity in the world. So we don't want to add to that. We want to be positive and happy. And when you feel good, there's more chance of that. It can be hard to be positive in this world anyway, but when your body is hurting, it's even harder. I get it. And maybe you have kids or a spouse or family members that just get on your nerves. There are challenges every day. But if we do things to better our bodies, we have more of a chance to be that bright light for someone else. So let's start on the inside and work our way out. Improving our health means we must consider our whole entire body and not just one single event. Our body is a machine, very complex. And if you're like me and you go to the doctor, perhaps they tell you one solution for your problem, and then it doesn't work. What then? Well, you don't just stop. You get a second recommendation. You keep going. But you don't give up there because there is a root problem to what you're going through, just like with anything in life. Just like problems with our family, problems within, there's a root problem. It starts somewhere. And this is true for our bodies. So we can't just always mask these things with temporary pills. We truly need to get to the root of the problem. And I suggest starting from nature. And I've truly learned this the hard way. When pills that the doctor gave me just never worked. And so I came back to nature. And so far it's working. And as I start to feel better and better, it inspires me for change. And I want the same for you. I want you to feel better. But oftentimes we take other things such as a lack of sleep or food sensitivities. We take these things for granted. I never knew to check for food sensitivities until I was knee-deep in pain. And then I started doing my own research because after all, we are our own best advocates. Sometimes we have to dig a little deeper to find our solutions. But things such as a lack of sleep, food sensitivities, and what about the effects of stress? According to Healthline.com, specifically, our central nervous and endocrine system, our respiratory and cardiovascular systems, our digestive and muscular systems, sexuality and reproductive system, and our immune system can all be affected by stress. And you and I have stress quite frequently, some of us more than others. So we need to consider the effects of stress on our bodies and take this into consideration when you are ill. So you need to relax because stress is doing nothing for us. And the world is a big causer of stress. I'm here to tell you that God can give us the peace that we need. We can do as Paul did in the Bible and learn to be content in any situation. With God, all things are possible. And what about the effects of a life lacking purpose? MindHealth360.com stated that a lack of purpose can affect our mental health and may cause depression, addiction, and anxiety. And this is a ripple effect back to stress. See, everything's connected. And so when trying to improve our health and take action, we have to take action on all aspects of our life. We have to slow down and focus because our health is worth it. We need our sanity, right? So we have to slow down. We feel hopeless when our lives lack meaning. But friends, God has created each one of us with a fulfilling meaning. So when you're sick or trying to get in better health, live a better life, one of the things that we need to do is to consider our purpose. Consider what we're here for and what we're doing each day. What are we doing this for? Just for a moment of silence when we're dead? Or is there more to it? And discovering this will give you peace and less stress. So I don't have to tell statistics regarding many of today's health issues. Many of us have learned from experience, and sometimes experience is the best lesson. But we don't want to always experience it from ourselves. You don't want to wait till it's too late and you're in pain. Learn from others. This is why I'm here, to encourage you to start today. And I believe you're listening to this for a reason. I pray about my podcast. And I pray to reach everyone and give them a message that will encourage them to be the best person that God has designed you to be. So many things affect our overall health. And sometimes our doctors may not always diagnose us the right way because they fail to look at the entire picture. Now, I'm not just bashing them. We need doctors, but they're not the only solution. And when they fail us, we have to pick ourselves up and keep searching. There are many factors that contribute to the pain or anguish we may be feeling. It takes time and energy to fit all the pieces of the puzzle together. And this is for life in general. But with God, we can make it a journey worth living. And who is willing to fit all these pieces together? It's you and I. You and I may not be able to answer all the questions, but we can get a head start today. It also takes us to make the right decisions for our health that truly matter. God already has a great plan mapped out for you. But we need to roll out of bed and start with one healthy habit. And maybe that's just getting rid of sugar or grains. They say sugar is more addicting than cocaine. I think I believe that one. Because sugar is like a roller coaster for me. I mean, that's life anyway. It's like a roller coaster. But at least if we're gaining awareness, if we're trying, we're not going uphill constantly. We want to smooth sail for a while. And what about prevention? Type 2 diabetes can be preventable and sometimes reversible. And joint pain, the same is true for this. And what about body pain? I've had all of all of these things, joint pain, body pain, depression, anxiety, I've learned to greatly reduce them all. Now, anxiety, we're always going to have a little bit of anxiety. But we can learn to better deal with these things. We all want to avoid ill health. However, our goal should be to strive to be healthy so that we can live our best life. If you and I don't have our health, we can't live our best life. But the alternative is, if we are feeling our best, it's easier to spill out our joy onto others. It takes faith to do this, but it also takes action. There may be some things we cannot avoid, but many, many times there are things that we can do. Start today with something to better your health. Are there things you need to get rid of? Reducing your stress, perhaps? Remember the sugar that I talked about? Just eat less of it. Start there. Or find a more natural source of sugar. Eat an apple. Put some cinnamon on that apple. Cook it in the frying pan. You got to fake it until you make it. You can eat a pancake. There are low-carb option pancakes out there, okay? Or maybe there's something you need to add to your routine. Perhaps exercise. You don't have to overdo it. They say walking is one of the best exercises that we can do. Just walk. Grab you a coat if it's cold and get some sunlight. For me, I like to hardcore exercise, and I have to remind myself, because I can overdo this, I have to remind myself, slow down. Maybe practice some yoga. It's all about balance. Balance and self-discipline. And these are things that God can help us with. But He doesn't do it all for us. We have to take action. We have to get to stepping. And I'm here to encourage you to step today. But don't give up. You got to keep going. Find encouragement. And if you're in a stressful environment around negative people, you need to find some like-minded, positive people, because this will make your life better. But you got to keep going, rising higher. It takes time and effort to do these things, but so does feeling bad. Invest in yourself so that you can better invest in others. Start today with one small change and make a plan and stick with it. In school when they told you to get a notebook and write it in your journal? Well, we can still do this. Some of these methods back in school, they are helpful today. Jesus said, be like the little child, have faith like a child. Resort back to your childhood thinking and get motivated. Start dreaming again. But in order to dream again, it helps if we feel good. So get inspired. Get educated on the topic of health and find a community of support, because you are worth it. We are in this together to build a legacy of faith, but we must be feeling our best to be our best. But even in our trials, we can learn to be like Paul and be content in any situation. But a joy-filled, hopeful life inspires others. Ensure that you can accomplish your mission in the best way by feeling your best. And so, whatever your health condition is today, or however you're feeling, know that it can get better with improved health. I want to thank you for joining me today. I'll be praying for you and your health. I believe in you that you can make the changes necessary to live in your best health yet. And join me next week for a weekly dose of inspiration to get you motivated for positive change. And if you enjoyed this podcast and would like to hear more, kindly hit subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a blessed week. All content on this podcast and website is created and published online for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice and should not be relied on as a health or personal advice. Always seek the guidance of your doctor or other qualified health professional with any questions you may have regarding your health or a medical condition.